Wait, I'm confused. I mean, maybe you guys had a conversation that I wasn't a part of, but I didn't know the black community turned against us. But thank you. Now I understand that the black community is not our ally, and that they're all assuming, guys, that us as Mexicans, we all voted for Trump. They're assuming that we're all racist, and they're assuming that we all hate black people. They have stereotyped us and put us into a category. So now they hate us because it's all of our fault. See, the actions of all Mexicans is my fault. Just the same way, I guess maybe we could do the same. Black people also voted for Trump. So should we assume that all black people are not our ally then? Should we assume that all black people are Trump supporters? Should we assume that all black people are racist? No, right? And I wouldn't do that because I'm not racist.
You started off your conversation literally generalizing all black people and then contradicted yourself and say, oh, well, what if we did that? That's literally what you did. I didn't know that we have beef with all black people and all black people aren't our allies. Hypocrite much? Then to turn around and say, well, all Mexicans are blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the hypocrisy for me. We are not in it. Why do y'all continuously try to keep pulling black people in it? Fight the good fight. Do what you need to do. Stand up for your community. And, I don't understand why y'all don't want to go back to y'all's country. I'm not even trying to be funny, but y'all always say that y'all have such rich culture and y'all so much better and where you're from is so beautiful and it's a paradise. So why not really try to go home and really fix up your community and in your country? Like y'all's government, y'all's officials look just like you, so wouldn't it be easier to get through to them? I'm so confused by that because a lot of and I'm not trying to be funny, and I hope that this isn't offensive to anybody, but a lot of immigrants are always saying how their country is so much better and how their culture is so much better. So I don't understand what's the issue. And just leave us out of it. It's okay. Some of us do support, some of us are rallying behind you, but as a collective, y'all don't do that for us. Y'all never have. So it is what it is. And more of y'all voted for him than we did. It is what it is. Spread love is the Brooklyn way.
That's the problem. That's the problem. You want black Americans to be your allies. How many of your percentage can be black Americans' allies? That's the problem. Now a Mexican woman is now understanding and now saying, oh, she never knew that black people actually distance themselves. She never knew that black people are actually just watch to the end and hear my last commentary, because I'm going to be dropping bombs. Because these people want to root out histories, let's open up the book of life for them. But welcome back to the channel. My name is Sonia. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks. Also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, let's roll the clips and I'll be back with commentaries. Stay tuned.
Mexicans played a significant role in assisting enslaved black people in the United States to escape and find freedom in Mexico. Mexican citizens and the government provided refuge and support to those fleeing. Come on, bro. You got to tell the full story and context to this. Let's be 100. Yes, you are correct. Mexico was the first people in Americas, I think, that did abolish slavery. You are correct. But who did it? Who did it? A black man by the name of Vicente Guerrero did that. He did that. And tell the story what happened to him and why they tried to knock him off. Tell that story too, why they tried to knock off Vicente Guerrero. A black man, Afro-Indigenous, African, whatever you want to call him. He was a black man. Tell him why. Metal La Raza, y'all want to lighten up. Y'all didn't like that, right? So guess what? When the French and the Confederacy was whooping on y'all, only reason why y'all welcome free slaves, because guess what? It was like, we don't really like them, but I see how them free slaves, those black Seminoles, those people that was in the Abysmal Swamp that was fighting and whooping the Confederate, hey, let's bring them over here so we can help win this war. That's why y'all allow free slaves over here. Y'all wasn't just inviting free slaves over there just because y'all were nice people. Y'all needed help to beat the Confederacy. If my memory serves, I'm going off the top of my head. If my memory serves correct, I think y'all trying to take Texas or something, reclaim Texas or something to that effect. I might be wrong. But somebody fact Fact check that for me. Vicente Guerrero was the black person that abolished slavery in Mexico. It wasn't you. I'm sorry, it wasn't people, the lighter tone people that freed slaves. And only reason, that abolished slavery. And the only reason why y'all wanted black people from America, like the freed Negroes, the escaped Negroes, the black Seminoles, other black natives on this land, y'all want them over there because y'all knew them boys can fight. Them boys can fight. You heard what happened, what them Seminoles did to them folks in Florida. Well, y'all heard what they did to General Dade out there. That's why they got Dade County. Yeah, black folks did that. A lot of them cities in Florida, well, anyway, that's here or there. But yeah, that's why. So black people, when y'all hear people say, hey, Mexico free, hey, we allowed y'all. Nah, they weren't doing that because they were nice. It was all game. It was all game. They weren't doing that stuff on the kindness of their heart. My people bled for y'all too. They went to Mexico. The freed Negroes went over there, and the escaped Negroes went over there and fought for y'all and bled for y'all. Come on, man. Come on. So tell the truth and shame the devil, as my grandma would say.
Commenting about the Ukrainians, and they were saying, yeah, but these people are literally, if they go back there, they could die and stuff. We could die as well. I told them that my father wasn't alive and we had to escape, and they were laughing about it. We were saying, yeah, well, we all have problems, but they were defending the white people. And what I'm trying to say is like we don't want you to defend us. You don't have to defend us. It's okay. You guys have your own problems. I'm just telling you about history, what happened, how Mexicans helped the black slaves, how a lot of Mexicans got killed as well, saving them, how we have always stand.
So now that Trump is doing like the mass deportation, this Mexican woman, and I've seen a few other Mexicans saying that black people needed to help them and stand in solidarity with them. This is not our fight. And she's talking about how the Mexicans helped the black slaves and how they were killed and on the front lines. First of all, we don't even have to go back in history. We already have a lot of issues in our community that we have to face daily and that we're marching for, going to Congress about, trying to get bills passed. We don't have any allies. So we don't even got to talk about slavery. What about now? I don't see the Mexican community rallying behind black people. I just don't see it, not by the droves. I'm not going to say on an individual level and on an individual basis, there are some of you that may, help. But this is not our fight. Don't. You see how they come and recruit us when they need help and when they need numbers? But when we need help and when we need numbers, we're just another nigga on the street. Like, come on, they a lot of these Latinas, they be racist too. Okay? I've been to Mexico and I've seen Mexicans that were dark as me. They don't get the representation in the media. We only see the lighter complected ones. Colorism is rampant over there too. We could go deep, but black people, stand down. I mean, if you want to help, that's up to you, but don't let these people guilt trip you. Not the guilt trip. What y'all think about this? Do we owe the Mexicans anything? It's relevant to Brooklyn Lane.
Did you know that there is a village in Mexico of a few hundred people whose ancestors were enslaved people who found freedom in Mexico, and they celebrate Juneteenth? The village is located in a desert in the Mexican state of Coahuila, and it is called El Nacimiento de los Negros, which translates to the birth of the black people, and the people who live there are called Mascogos. Their ancestors first fled to Florida during the 17th and 18th century in search for freedom. Florida at that time was owned by Spain, and they usually allowed those who escaped slavery to live as free men and women. Many of the once enslaved people began living alongside Seminoles in Florida, which are Native Americans, and they became known as Black Seminoles themselves. After the US took over Florida in the 19th century and President Andrew Jackson signed into law the Indian Removal Act, the Native Americans of Florida, including the Black Seminoles, were forced to follow the Trail of Tears, and they ended up in Oklahoma and Texas, where they were not safe from slavery. That is when in 1850, about 60 Black Seminole families crossed into the Mexican state of Coahuila and formed their village of Mascogos. Mexico had already abolished slavery in 1829, a few decades before the US would. The Mascogos took their food and traditions with them. Today, many no longer know how to cook the dishes of their ancestors. They speak Spanish, not English. But English language hymns, remembered by few of the elders, are proof of their story.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
They have become Mexican and have had many generations of intermarriage, but they still celebrate Juneteenth. Here is a picture of them celebrating Juneteenth.
Sit the fuck down and learn about Black American history. With all these recent attacks on Black Americans, clearly you racist bitches need to fucking learn something. What you should take away from this is that Black Americans built the United States of America. Enslaved labor was vital to the foundation of our economy. They built roads, bridges, buildings, the fucking White House. After emancipation, Black workers still contributed to agriculture, manufacturing, transportation, despite discrimination and low wages. Elijah McCoy developed an improved automatic lubrication system for machinery. Garrett Morgan invented the 3-position traffic signal and developed an early breathing device that became associated with gas masks. Dr. Charles Drew revolutionized the storage and transportation of blood. Dr. Daniel Hale Williams was a Black surgeon who performed one of the earliest successful operations on the heart. Enslaved Black women were subject to experimentation. The experiments done on Anarcha, Lucy, and Betsy helped establish modern gynecology. Their suffering contributed to the surgical techniques that became foundational for modern gynecology. The doctor who performed these experiments basked in all the fame and recognition. Fuck you. They went through these experiments without anesthesia. So many things in this country were built and invented by Black Americans, but their credit was stolen from them. I'll end off by saying Black Lives Matter. So many of you racists are so ungrateful for the contributions that Black Americans have made for this country. What have you done? Nothing. Useless bitch.
They are being starved. They are thirsty, only given 1 cup of water per day, are denied bathroom privileges, are denied medical attention. People in ICE concentration camps are losing their lives. And don't even think about saying FAFO, fuck around and find out, to these people in ICE detention centers. It is a shame that members of the Black community started the trend, and so many other people followed. This is an updated voting poll.
Updated.
Brown people voted for Kamala Harris more. But you fall for the colonizers' divisive tactics, the inaccurate voting polls, the initial propaganda. It is immature and immoral to be centering that type of behavior in response to a community that is being mass deported, imprisoned in concentration camps, and tossed out of the country to who knows where without any rights or contact to any lawyer or family. When we should be focused on solidarity, and this has to stop immediately. Especially those of you who claim to be activists perpetuating this FAFO-BS nonsense.
Shouts out to Aaliyah, because this is where it was on her page when I first saw this lady, this Mexican lady. And then I went to her page and she doubled down and literally said that they helped us during the Civil War, which is a lie. And the Mexicans helped free the slaves. First of all, Mexico had slavery themselves that wasn't abolished until 1829 or 1830 or something, somewhere around there. And the president that abolished slavery in Mexico was Afro-Indigenous. I don't know why they keep leaving that part out. He looked more like a negro than he looked like. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down? And when we were down there, we was fighting beside them. We was helping to protect their borders. They conveniently leave that out. All this civil rights, nobody that was not fighting with us for civil rights. Is a lie and a scam, not as a collective. And they know a lot of them are anti-Black. It is so crazy that they keep blaming us. First of all, we've been saying fuck around and found out, just like we've been saying a whole bunch of other shit that they co-opt and steal and turn into something else. Fuck around and found out never really had no political meaning. That's just how Black people talk. Bitch, fuck around and find out. That's how we talk. Why do they keep blaming us and centering us when we are not the ones that's putting them in concentration camps? We do not yield, nor do we hold the power to deport them. They are focusing on the wrong people. Why y'all not mad at MAGA? Why y'all not sticking it to the white man? I mean, we just got to call it a spade a spade. It's so weird that the Mexican and the Latino community keeps coming for Black people. It's because we're not putting our bodies, we're not sacrificing our bodies and going and running out and standing on the front lines. Is that what it is? Why they got so much animosity toward us like we're the ones that's doing this to them? We're not inflicting any pain on you. And as per Aaliyah's video, because I never saw that initial video, she played a video of a bullhead clear guy coining fuck around and find out for political purposes. Once again, stealing our shit, renaming, reclassifying it. giving it a different meaning. We're not making fun of y'all like that. We really ain't. We don't give a... It's unfortunate, but stop blaming. You're pointing. Spread love is the Brooklyn way. This is bizarre. I don't know how we get in it. How we keep getting in it.
So this Mexican man right here is trying to blame Black America for all the DL that Mexican videos started being created. And as the individual that started this with Dominicans, man, I'm here to tell you that that is a lie. Because I created the first video talking about DL Dominican man. And then the Mexican Thanos made a video about DL Mexicans. And that video just shook the internet to its core because it was a secret that nobody knew, including Latinos, right? And in the comment section of all the videos, I got over 1 million views on my videos on TikTok alone. On Instagram, I got over 500,000 views, right? And in the comment section, all I kept seeing was Black Americans saying, why is this on my feed? How did I end up here? You know? And obviously, DL drama, apparently, people, it's interesting, right? So once they were there, they stood around for the tea. And all they said, yo, have y'all heard about this? That's all they said, man. This came from our community. This is DL Mexicans' fault for being under DL for so long, and it's just being exposed. So don't try to make a scene that Black people are doing this and they're not running a narrative. This is facts, and this is why it shook the internet to its core, because nobody knew about the DL Mexicans. Apparently everybody knew about DL Dominicans except me, right? So no, you ain't gonna blame Black people for this, bro. Yeah, blame DL Mexicans. You probably want to though, man, because why are you trying to put this on? Why are you trying to put the heat on Black people for? You on the deal? Why are you so triggered? I ain't triggered by the DL Dominicans, right? I was just a little upset at the fact that they're all bottoms, because I'm like, yo, if you're gonna gay the right way and be a man about it, bro. But they all bending over for these Black American dudes in Washington Heights.
All right, for all my blacks on this app that's coming on here saying this is not our fight, this is not our fight, y'all definitely must not be from LA, because out here it's a different type of program that we run, which is we actually have love for our Raza out here. We actually support them, we protect them, etc. And they do the same for us. If y'all was actually out there in the streets during the BLM protests, y'all would see Latinos out there supporting us as well. So I'm not getting this whole, this not our fight, this not our fight, when they was out there for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you was really out there in the streets during the protest, then you would actually know. Most of these motherfuckers is sitting behind the camera just talking shit that they don't even know. So I'm just letting y'all know, just to bypass them type people that got hate, envy, and racist, racism in their heart or whatever, you know what I'm saying, towards the Latin community, because some of them actually do. You know what I mean? But we can't help them. So, in all, out here, we respect our Raza, and we support our Raza. So that's what we gonna do. Me and my people are going out to the protest downtown City Hall. We you know what I'm saying, we actually getting out in these streets, and we supporting the Raza. So I'm letting y'all know that the blacks out here, we got y'all back. So let's you know what I'm saying, let's continue this fight. Let's continue to have a peaceful protest. I don't want no harm inflicted on nobody, you know what I'm saying, because that's not going to do nothing but cause more pain in the community. So I ask that we all just, you know what I'm saying, keep the peace with the protests, and let's stand our ground, though. I love y'all. Chocolate Uno out.
Everybody learned about the Underground Railroad. You know, the Escape North, Harriet Tubman, Canada, the North Star, all the things. What almost nobody was taught is that there was another direction that people ran, south, into Mexico, for decades before the Emancipation Proclamation. In 1829, Vicente Guerrero, a president of African and indigenous descent, issued a decree abolishing slavery in Mexico, more than 30 years before Lincoln, which meant that if you were enslaved in the American South and you crossed the Rio Grande, you were free, legally. And people did it, of course, enough that it became known. A formerly enslaved man named Felix Haywood said it years later. All we had to do was walk south, and we would be free as soon as we crossed the Rio Grande. And for some people, it really was that simple. Not easy, but possible. And Mexico didn't just allow it, they enforced it. When slave catchers crossed the border trying to take people back, they were pushed out. There are documented cases of Mexican authorities refusing to return people who had escaped slavery, even under pressure from the United States. They didn't care. In the 1850s, armed incursions from Texas into Mexican territory increased significantly. One of them, led by Texas Ranger James Callahan, crossed into Mexico under the claim of pursuing raiders. I guess he thought it was dumb. But accounts from the time make it very clear that recovering Black people was part of the objective. Mexican forces and local allies pushed them back. But on their way out, Callahan's men burned down the town of Piedras Negras. But Mexico still refused to return the people who had escaped. And the descendants of those who made it, the Muskogos, they're still in Coahuila today, still carrying language, culture, memory from the people that crossed that river. Now, here's the part that matters. When Mexico abolished slavery, it didn't just change life inside its borders. It created a line. On one side, people were property, right? On the other, they weren't. And that line became a problem for people who needed slavery to exist. The Texas Revolution didn't happen in a vacuum, you know? Mexico had already moved to end slavery, and many of the people pushing for independence were trying to preserve it. That's part of what was being fought over. So you end up with a border that at one point in history functioned in the opposite direction of how people think about it now. People crossed it to get out of the United States, to get free. And they found that freedom in Mexico. That's not a side story, that's part of the story. And it's the one that a lot of people just were never taught.
Everybody hates Black Americans. It doesn't matter what we do, what we don't do, someone will always have something negative to say about us. We could be minding our own Black business and people will get offended by our existence. And I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. I love that you all hate us so much because it means there's something special about us. Y'all hate us, but spend so much time trying to imitate us, talk like us, walk like us, or rage bait us into conversations and debates. Like, why? Why do y'all care about what we think? We just minding our Black business. Even people who look like us, who are not from America, hates Black Americans. And honestly, I love it. I wouldn't change it for the world. Am I saying every individual hates Black Americans? Absolutely not. But even if everyone did hate us, I wouldn't give a fuck. Shout out to the Black Americans.
I just learned something from one of my favorite creators, Ashley, that completely changed the way I looked at American history. I'm going to try to link the video in the description because honestly, more people need to hear this story. We're all taught that during the Underground Railroad, all the enslaved people escaped north. But not everyone went north. Some went south to Mexico. Why? Because Mexico abolished slavery in 1829 under President Vincent Guerrero. Why do we not know his name? He was a Black and indigenous Mexican leader. This was a full 30 years before Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation. And think about how wild that is. While the United States was still up here protecting slavery and fighting for it, Mexico had already made it illegal. That meant enslaved Black Americans had to walk south and cross the Rio Grande. And here's the part that a lot of history classes leave out. There was a lot of tension in Texas before the Texas Revolution came, from American settlers wanting to keep slavery, even though Mexico had outlawed it. If the slave catchers came into Mexico to retrieve a slave, they were pushed out. So the idea that freedom only existed up north is not the full story at all. For many enslaved people, freedom went south. And there's still people there today celebrating the same cultures and histories that they made during that voyage across the Rio Grande. Huge credit to Ashley for doing what she does and making the kind of content she makes that educates people on things that history classes just don't tell us. Share your thoughts in the comment section and follow me for more.
Anyways, welcome back guys, and thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys literally enjoyed every single clip I was able to roll out for you guys. And I feel like personally that is the point that some of these Mexicans are missing out. nobody, no black American, no black person actually assume that every single one of you are racist, or every single one of you voted for Trump, or every single one of you are against black people. You people are still the same people that are literally going about rooting out content and saying a lot of things about black Americans. So she's saying that she now realized that black Americans are literally not their allies, blah blah blah. It's quite shocking to me, because of every single thing, black Americans have been able to stand for different communities. Black Americans have been able to make sure that immigrants even come to America to enjoy America. Black Americans have been able to do one or two things. Go online, you're going to be seeing some immigrants, some grateful immigrants actually appreciating black Americans for the effort and everything that black Americans have literally put in place for them to be where they are today in America. Just that a lot of you people are ungrateful. So because you're ungrateful, black Americans decide to stand out and be like, okay, since it's actually happening with this deportation of a thing, and not 100% of you, but 80% of Mexicans actually voted for this orange man. So they're going to allow you guys to do your thing. Do what you think is best for you. If ICE is deporting anybody, they should be deporting. And black Americans in different aspects of their life have seen that a lot of immigrants do not want to stand with them in solidarity when they literally had issues. Now let's go back to slavery, where a lot of Mexicans were like, oh, they were actually there for black Americans. It was just a normal thing that the moment you cross that particular border, automatically you are free. And Mexico actually abolished slavery even before America did that. Okay, so when you people were literally helping, it didn't just end by helping. Black Americans were also building your economy. That's just one thing that people fail to understand. I'm not disputing the fact that Mexicans actually help black Americans during slavery and the rest of that, for them to be actually free, blah blah blah. They were actually also their ally in some kind of ways. But Mexico won't see that as an opportunity. They saw that for people that actually run for their life, for people that were actually enslaved and then they want to escape, these people can literally build the economy. And they saw the potentials that black Americans literally had as at that time, even up to date, and they decided to utilize the opportunity. So it was still more of you using black people, using black Americans, inventing and developing your own area as well. Because go into your history and check, you don't see that history will only say, oh, it is only Mexicans that actually built Mexicans. Black Americans contributed greatly to the building as well of Mexico, despite the fact that they were not born and bred up there, or they were not indigenous people as they were in America, even before slavery and every other thing that happened. So once you want to say something about black people not being your ally, just remember that at one point or the other, you people have choose to distance yourself first for black people and identify yourself with white people. It's as simple as that. And you guys can literally see that black people still have your interest in at heart, and that is why they are able to like root out some of these your histories. Okay, so I don't think that if you are gonna help me, you're definitely going to gain something. I've seen it in this life that a lot of people cannot just help you without gaining anything. They are helping you because they want to achieve something. They are helping you because they know that you have something to contribute to their life, either negatively or positively. That's one thing I've seen. So don't make it look like black Americans are no longer you people allies, and yeah, blah blah blah, east, west, north and south. You stood with them during slavery and the rest of that. They also did their job. They also did their part. They also contributed their quota. They also helped your economy. They helped to build who you are. And that is why if there is nobody, a lot of you guys, at least even if it's 50% that respected black Americans, I think a lot of things will have been sorted out. But out of 100, 80% or even to 95% actually casted their vote for the orange man. They made black people look stupid, despite every single thing that black Americans have been saying. So how else do you expect black Americans to not stand in space and be like, there shall not be deportation? There's gonna be deportation, my darling. There's gonna be. I'm not gonna stand in the position so that they are to deport me. He that don't get a pit, let him fall into that pit. He that prepared a load, let it carry this load. It's as simple as that. So stop making case out of it. Yeah. Guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Credit to the original creators of every single clips and stitches we have in our today's episode. I want to say a very big thank you to every single one of you, liking, commenting, sharing, dropping super thanks, also joining my membership. I do not take you guys for granted. You guys are absolutely the best. And yes, guys, with that being said, with no further ado, like I always say in my videos, I'm going to be saying bye. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye guys. I love you. Ciao, ciao.